Today we have KP03, which introduced Ancient Forces, Noodle Ninjas, and support for some other decks, including Aqua. We are running Ancient Forces and using the Aqua engine, as we now have access to Seahorse Carrier. Notably, we don't have access to Grace Princess Kana, the 1400 defender, so we are running Bubbly Elf and La Moon instead. Apart from the lack of Widespread Villain, things are looking almost like a normal deck. We have all three of our Ancient Rise Dragon, Burning Blaze Dragon, and Clear Ice Dragon. Dragius and Phoenix Dragon are here to take up the limit 3 slots. And we're running a ton of cards you would normally see in Ancient Forces. Fire Golem is able to reduce the opponent's defense, reducing anything with over 1500 defense below it, and then allowing Ancient Rise Dragon to clear it. Dragon's Inferno is much needed backup removal to deal with opposing Phantom Bind. And because we are concerned about the Phantom Bind, we are also running a copy of Dragon's Return to get those dragons out of the graveyard. We're also going to be using Clear Ice Dragon's effect as much as possible, returning Phoenix Dragon or Dragonite to the bottom of our deck. Let's see what Tomato has cooked up.
So this is the deck we're bringing today. This is Noodle Art Reboot. Noodle Ninjas is a really strong deck, but we are missing quite a lot of their important support cards, which means we can't play the deck quite how we would like to, which is a little bit disappointing. We do, however, have a little bit of spice in here, being Hermit Soul. This is in here so that if we do get Shield and Sworded, all of our monsters do have 0 defense, so we can hopefully use it to stop an attack. Now, we're not really expecting to win this week because this deck's main weakness is multi-attacking, and Dragius is a multi-attacker. Unfortunately as well, the only legend card we have available is Shield and Sword, which does mean all of our 0 defense boss monsters can get punished quite hard. So we're kind of going in expecting to lose, but if we do manage to pull off a win, we'll be very happy. Okay, well... I mean, your set monster could have 0 defense, but also it could have 1600 defense, and both of those things worry me, so I think we're just gonna chill with a couple of defense monsters and pass it back.
Alright, so I did have the 0 defense Burning Blaze Dragon, and also the 1600 defense Clear Ice Dragon, making it a real 50-50 situation. But I also don't have any way to get through currently. So, what is the right play here? I mean, those monsters cannot have more than 1400. So if I bring in a Clear Ice Dragon, we should be in a pretty good spot. I'll go ahead, activate Ancient Forces. The attack boost, not too relevant, but it will let me send another monster into my graveyard. And then we can battle. Clear out the board and see if we can't build up some advantage this way.
Alright, we will set one. Then I think we're going to set another. Then we'll go ahead and tribute 2 monsters and summon out our first big boy of the game, which is going to be Extra Spice, the Elite Noodle Ninja. Then we'll fire off our skill Noodle Art Reboot to boost up Extra Spice and then grab back a monster from the graveyard, and we'll be taking Stock, the Noodle Ninja. Then we'll go ahead and summon Stock. And we'll go ahead and use Extra Spice's effect, send Stock to the grave, burn you for 1000 and draw 1 card. Now that draw was not entirely what we were hoping for, but it's not terrible either. The question is, do I want to use it? I think I probably do. Do I? Yes, I think I do. We're going to drop the Noodle Art of Savory, and I'm going to target one of your Clear Ice Dragons. Then I'm going to summon Gazelle, set a monster, go to battle, and then I will attempt to attack over this Clear Ice Dragon. And then I'm going to attack this Clear Ice Dragon. And we're just going to pass.
Alrighty. I wasn't expecting the Savory with just 1 Pyro on board, but it makes sense. Let's see how I want to do this. I think before anything, I definitely want to start off with Seahorse Carrier.
Oh.
Use the effect, and I'll be reviving La Moon. La Moon is able to come down And then I go ahead and activate our new card, Dragon's Return, introduced from the ranked ladder. I return 3 dragons and get to draw an additional resource. I have a Clear Ice and a Burning Blaze in the graveyard, which means if I tribute off 2 monsters for Ancient Arise Dragon, I'm able to shuffle those 2 monsters away and destroy a monster with 1500 or less defense in on your field. Let's go ahead and return both of them into the deck and remove your boss monster.
Oh no.
Extra Spice goes down. Then we summon out Phoenix Dragon. And we perform another tribute summon. This time we tribute off Burning Blaze Dragon and Phoenix for the Multi-Strike Dragon Dragius.
Ooh.
Dragius mills 1 card to use its effect, allowing it to attack twice. Then finally Phoenix Dragon, discarding Shield and Sword to revive our Burning Blaze Dragon.
Yeah, and that's gonna be lethal, isn't it? Is that lethal?
Let's activate Ancient
1,000.
Forces.
4,000. Yeah, that's lethal.
Send a Clear Ice and start battling. And I do think this should be lethal, but I did not do the math. But with 3,000 direct and 2 other monsters, I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, I was just hoping you didn't have the Dragius. I think Dragius plus Ancient Arise is that's way too much for me to deal with without any back row. I think we're just gonna go for the set 4 and pass here.
No problem. My hand isn't perfect or anything, but it is a fair enough start. I can't complain too much when I'm able to bring in the Multi-Strike Dragon Dragius. Let's mill. And, ooh, 2 Seahorse Carriers down. That's a little bit unfortunate. But we will battle and test for a Phantombind. Alright, looks like it isn't. Interesting. Go ahead.
The unfortunate thing here is, now that Dragius is out, the Phoenix Dragons are basically additional copies of Dragius, which is very scary for me. How do we want to approach this? I feel like there's no good outcome here, so what's the least bad outcome? I think we always set this. That's a no-brainer. Then it comes down to how aggressive can we afford to get without just getting clapped. I think we can afford to get a little bit aggressive, right. I will go ahead and summon out the Seahorse Carrier. I'll activate its effect, and I'll just take back Canaan. Then I'm going to go ahead and tribute both of my monsters and summon out my Spice the Elite Noodle Ninja. We'll go ahead and use our skill Noodle Art Reboot, boost it up by a whopping 600. I don't think I want to add the card to my hand here, although I could give it a boost. It's not going to be a particularly big boost, so I think I'd rather just have the Canaan out. We'll set a monster, and we'll go ahead and use the Spice effect. We'll go to battle, and we'll try and clear this. And we'll get in for a 14 push, and then we'll just pass.
With the Noodle Art Reboot, I'm basically never going to be able to actually, get a Phantombind to resolve. Okay. So this hand is interesting. I think I can bring in Thunder the Thunder. Then what is the right way to do this? I think I'm just gonna go ahead and Shield and Sword here.
Uh-oh.
Reducing those to 0.
You wouldn't have a Phoenix Dragon, right?
Unfortunately not. But there is still a chance. Because I tribute off for Clear Ice Dragon, and then activate Ancient Forces. This will boost Clear Ice Dragon, and then allow me to send Burning Blaze Dragon to the graveyard. Notably, this is the third Dragon-type monster to enter my grave, allowing me to return all 3 to the deck to draw a new card. So I won't be drawing Phoenix into the Dragius here, but this isn't too bad. We're gonna go ahead at Dragon's Inferno and pop that new card, which I was expecting to be a Fanabind. But also important, I think, is to destroy that first card, which might be a Shield and Sword since you didn't use it last turn. But it is the King's Majesty, even more powerful than the Phantom. We will 7-Zone Mage.
Please stop destroying my trap cards.
And I'm using the effect. Obviously, both of your monsters are at 0 already. But I do want to get my graveyard filled with monsters when able. By bringing out a second Clear Ice Dragon, I am relatively resistant to a Shield and Sword play from your end, and will run over these monsters for a fair amount of damage. Go ahead.
I feel like if it wasn't for Shield and Sword, I would be in a really good spot right now, but Shield and Sword is a card that exists. Let's do some mass before we just start clicking buttons. Okay, either way we do this. We set this, and we go ahead and Tribute to, and summon out the one, the only, the extra spice, the Noodle Ninja.
I cannot tell if this is better or worse for me than a regular one.
We're going to summon out Stock, use Extra Spice's effect, send Stock to the grave, burn for 1,000, get a draw. Ooh, that's a little bit late, unfortunately. Next, we will go ahead and use Noodle Art Reboot. We'll target our Extra Spice, and then we can get a card back, and the only real option is going to be Stock. Now, is there much of a reason to summon Stock? Probably not. I mean, if I don't summon Stock, you guarantee get to clear me, but if you draw anything, I think you can just clear over me anyway. Stock only has 1,000 attack, which is very detrimental, but I think I actually am going to summon it. And then we're going to drop our Noodle Art of Savory. Weaken one of your monsters. Then we're going to set, go to battle, swing over the Clear Ice, and then swing over the other Clear Ice. Ooh.
Interesting. Unfortunately, this is looking a little bit more awkward than I would like. But I'm pretty sure it is lethal, unless I'm miscalculating. We're going to go ahead and 7-Zone Mage. Mage effect debuffs the Extra Spice by 400. Then we get another 7-Zone Mage, giving us even more of a debuff. I do want to play around Phantom Bind, so as much as I would love to just swing in, how many dragons are in my grave? 4. Well, I don't think there is much else I can do. So that's 2,000, but that is not enough. Whereas this is more, for sure.
Oh. Oh, the one of Dragius just keeps showing up. Yeah, that was. I looking back at it, I did have a lethal line, but I didn't do the maths. Let's do it. Let's do some maths before we just start clicking buttons.
Now, I have the ability to make a good board. But what if I just don't do that, actually? I think we are instead going to make a really bad board and see if it works out. Ancient Forces and mill the Clear Ice. And that's it for me.
Interesting. I mean, I can't really put any pressure on with this hand, so we're just going to be setting a lot of cards and playing a couple of face downs. And then we'll just pass.
Well, that is exactly what I want to see. As you might expect, my hand contains the one and only Multi-Strike Dragon Dragius.
Oh, I hate that card.
Funny blue dragon. Let's go ahead and bring in Thunder the Thunder. I am unfortunately quite weak to a Shoot on Sword here. And with 2 back row, I'm kind of expecting you to have it. I want to go ahead and mill the other Burning Blaze Dragon. Dragius activate the effect, and we lose our own Shield and Sword, a huge blow. But let's battle. Start by swinging in with Dragius. And one thing I do know is that we don't have Grace Princess Kana, so Thunder the Thunder should be safely getting in. Dragius swing in here, and go for the 28.
Yeah, the biggest weakness of Noodles in general is multi-attack, so staring down Dragius is really not what I want to be doing right now. Alright, we will set 1. We will set 2. We will then, I think... What's the odds? I don't think I have to think about this too hard. We will go ahead and tribute 2 monsters and summon out the extra spice, the Elite Noodle Ninja. We'll go ahead and use our skill. We'll boost it up and add a card to hand, and we will be adding stock. So now the question is, do we want to use our effect to burn? What are the upsides? I mean, if I draw a normal summonable monster, there is nothing but upsides. If I don't draw a normal summonable monster, then I could get punished really bad. But this is game 3, so it doesn't matter as much. So I think we will just drop it down. We'll go ahead and fire it off. Burn for the 1000, draw a card. And that is exactly what we didn't want to see. We'll go straight to battle. And we will just swing over this Dragius. And pass the turn.
Alrighty. I have to imagine this is game. We're gonna go for the Bubbly Elf. And we'll tribute it off for Ancient Arise Dragon. I guess I should double check. I have both in the grave, but I do. So let's use Ancient Arise Dragon's effect and return some cards into the deck, destroying the lone monster on board. I guess the next thing to check for is King's Majesty, but I do not see any targets available. So Geriatric comes in and Ancient Forces buffing up our dragon. No need to mill. Let's battle. Geriatric swings.
Behold! Phantom Bind!
And finish it. Presumably.
Yeah.